Everybody. Y'all have to laugh at myself because I've been talking for about 15 minutes, not real 15, but still talking and was not recording. So anyway, let's get into chapter 8 of Ecclesiastes, okay? This is your spiritual nugget. Again, even though you didn't get it the first time, trust and believe I was giving it to you, and this is your second time getting it, all right? So King Solomon reflects on wisdom and authority in life's uncertainties, all right? He highlights how wisdom gives us insight into navigating power and injustice, but also recognize that even wisdom cannot explain life's mysteries. We have a habit of wanting to go to horoscopes or even, people to give us an answer for a lot of our woes and a lot of the things that we go through. But true answers are not always given to us. We've got to just trust God. And that's not always easy. We tell our kids, because I said so. Or, you don't worry about that. You just follow me. You don't worry about where you're going or why you're going, how long we're going to be there, and what's going to happen tomorrow. You just follow me. And that's what God is telling us. I know he be telling me that all the time. And I'll be like, just put me in the trunk, God. I don't want to sit in the back seat no more. I just want to be in the trunk. Just let me know when we get there, because I don't know. I want to know. It's so many questions that I have for God, and it's like, you're just not going to get the answers. You're going to get it when we get there. All right. So still Solomon encourages us to have reverence for God and reminds us that understanding belongs to him alone. Okay. So I understand that I'm not in control. And sometimes I want to sit, I want a window seat. Like Erica said, give me a window seat. I'm cool with that. But sometimes I just feel like, just put me in the trunk. Just put me in the trunk, Lord. I ain't driving. God and I took the wheel. Just put me in the trunk. All right. So the popular verses for chapter 8 in Ecclesiastes says, although the wicked person who commits hundreds of crimes may live a long time, I know that it will go better for those who fear God, who are reverent before him. Because the wicked do not fear God, it will not go well with them, and their days will not lengthen like a shadow. Okay, so that's telling us that there are people if you in America there are people that are very, very wicked here, okay, and it's not gonna go well for them. And we like karma. We want to see, we want them to get the big thing that happened to them, and we want it to happen fast and quick and hurry on up. But God is, can't nobody do it like God. You know what I'm saying? You think you can do some things. You think you can plot and plan, and you think the brain and can come up with a plan, a master plan to do some evil stuff. But baby, can't nobody do it like my God. Okay. And he will get you, he will rot you from the inside out. You be the rotted so much on the inside that once you get to the outside, you just crumble. Okay? So we just got to wait it on out. Sometimes we don't want to wait, but So our takeaways for this chapter is that wisdom brings clarity, but not full control. Okay? Even wise cannot predict or explain everything that will happen under the sun, right? These people, these mediums, and all of these people, that can read your hands and your palms and and all this, they don't know. They don't know. They only know. Sometimes you can peek into, because some people do have gifts from the Lord where they can see certain things. And even with us, we can discern things too. You have your own shanana. Your spirit will tell you some things, but even in that, you still don't know it all. You just got a little snippet. And your snippet, and it's like still a guess. And your guess could be right. Somebody could tell you you're going to beat your husband, and I'm going to want to receive. Oh, you're going to meet him. And his name could be Stephen or Paul. I don't know. They could come up with some name for him, right? And he may be tall and all of the stuff that people want on the surface, but then you be like, it'd be Paul, it'd be everything, and then he'd be the same height as you. And you'd be like, well, this ain't what they said, but amazing man. You're going to miss out on an amazing man that God got for you because you listened to somebody else that told you something. Not me. Okay. So, he may say, you know what, you ain't what I thought, you ain't built like I thought you were going to be built, because we have to respect and understand that wisdom comes with clarity. So we have to think about things beyond that. Please forgive me, y'all. Y'all know I be talking about my man sometime, even though I don't know who he at. But anyway, so respect for authority. All right. Okay, so obeying lawful authority is wise, but ultimate loyalty must come from God. Okay, injustice is temporary. All right, although the wicked may appear to prosper, God will bring ultimate justice. All right, so don't wait for let the Lord's karma work, honey. That Lord's karma is, his karma is better than ours. Reverence for God leads to peace. And I was thinking, and I had talked about this, and the other time I was talking to y'all, and y'all wasn't listening. Maybe I was talking too low, but anyway. Enslaved people. I come from a generation, some of you all that are listening come from a generation of enslaved people. There had to be a peace. Talk about that peace beyond understanding. There had to be a peace to decide to stay, because some people decided to leave, and or take that chance to leave. They, a lot of people didn't prosper to then leave, but some people did. But the people that decided to stay, what type of peace that must have had. It was scary peace. It was peace that made no sense, because there were people that left and they did well, and they weren't harmed. But what is it? Peace? Are those people? And see, a lot of people say, I would have been like them. I would have been, what I'm saying? They would have just had to let me go. I would have went on to see Jesus early, because, I ain't, but just understanding that there is peace when you reverence God, especially when people are cruel to you and do mean things to you. And the fact that you sit in that, women that have been with men that don't necessarily treat them right, there is peace that you have in order to stay there. But God gonna take care of all that stuff that ain't done right. Life's mysteries are humbling. And there again, the mysteries of life, dealing with somebody, being subjected to certain situations. Kids go through things where they're not treated right by their parents, and they can't make their choice to leave. But let me tell you about life, honey. And a God that we serve. Okay. All right. So we can't understand every event, but we can walk faithfully with God. We just trust God. It all comes together. So in your workplace, honor the leaders while maintaining integrity before God. When facing injustice, trust God and trust his time, and he gonna work it out. When confused about life, seek wisdom, which is what we're doing now, but also accept that all answers are not immediate. And we be wanting them answers right away, don't we? We be wanting them, that ain't the answer. Well, but what you say, God? Tell me, the Lord, tell me, okay? Put me in the back seat. Put me in the trunk, okay? I don't want the window seat, because the window seat ain't helping me. I need to be in the trunk, okay? All right. So a personal decision making, let reverence for God guide your choices rather than fear of people. Okay. Let's not worry about these people. Let's just worry about what God says. All things happen in decency and order. And I have to remind myself of that, because sometimes I just don't like when people treat me any old kind of way. And I don't like when people treat other people any old kind of way. And I'm one of them people that often will speak up when other people don't. And it has not always ended well because I don't keep my mouth closed when I need to. But I'm learning. It's taken me some time. I had to go to a lot of wilderness experiences because of my mouth, right? But I think that what I've learned is that you got to let God just handle that. I know it's not right. I get it, and he will sit you down, and it hurts to be set down. But here's our affirmation, ours, okay? I walk in wisdom, honor authority, and trust God's justice, okay? Even when I don't understand, I choose to live in reverence and in peace, all right? So I want you to think about, where do you feel powerless to understand what's happening? Where in your life? Because I'm thinking now, I just kind of mentioned, there was a time where I was powerless. Did I reverence God in that? Because I had to let them know, no, honey, you can't do this to me. And I got set all the way down for that. And it was very humbling, very difficult. But, there's a God, the justice that came in the end. God said, I got you. Just, so I thank him for that, and I thank you all for listening to this message. Hopefully you received something from it. Let's continue to walk in wisdom, y'all. This is Ecclesiastes 8. Everybody.